This is a video on the WE or WM Caprice VE model, 2008 model Caprice for a hot-cold issue. One side of the car to the other has dual or triple zone climate control, so it's all more electronic compared to the standard Commodore. So it has what they call a blend door actuator, which is this little baby here, part number there from the box, genuine Holden part, out of China of course. This video will go through how to replace one of these and how to test to see where you've got a fault. This video will not cover your problem if it is a cold air issue. If you put your air conditioning on freezing cold and you can't get any cold air from anywhere in the car, that is an air conditioning issue. You require that go to a repair place, particularly an air conditioning repair place. They'll probably have to regas the system. This is specifically relating to the Hvac system, the center module that actuates the doors that basically blend either hot and cold, change the temperature in the car and stabilize the temperature, and move the air from your heat to your face to the windscreen. So this unit is the same unit for all six on the WM Caprice. There's 3 on the driver's side and there's 3 on the passenger side. So unlike the VE, Commodore has more link rods and it doesn't have dual climate zones. So essentially, if you've got the Caprice, there's nothing really available apart from this that I've seen. So hopefully this helps you out. My step through the first process is just to remove the top cover on the driver's side. My issue was on the driver's side, so this is only the driver's side only. Not easy to remove this with one hand whilst filming, so apologies for that. I wouldn't usually relieve that so viciously. Little clip on the light switch. Just push depress the switch on there, and as you usually notice, these little white clip-in bits and pieces often end up left inside the car. As you can see in the left top of the picture, they've popped off. You can just find them and pop them back on for when they return into there. Next is the bottom cover. Just have to remove these 2 screws that hold on the data plug. So remove those so the data plug can come back out through the back of the hole in the plate. Just remove that one reasonably carefully, and there's a little light globe socket there to just rotate counterclockwise. It's reasonably easy to remove. Pop him off and that cover will be free to come out. The side panels have to come out. It's probably best to explain the bottom section. Just go straight down to start with, and then the top cover is best to be pushed down from the left hand top side. Just push down to release the pop that's in the top corner, and then just pull the right hand corner out towards you. These 2 screws need to come out of the foot ducting system. So there's one that's you're looking straight at on the left hand side, and there's one up underneath on the right hand side, and then the ducting can just be removed out of the way. You unfortunately will have to get your head up underneath the system, and here we are underneath the actual the unit. Unfortunately, the camera angles, it's not easy to get underneath the footwell and film this very easily, but I've done the best that I can, so apologies. You would have noticed the little conduit in the center of the screen. Remove that quite easy, just pulls off from the right hand side. I'll just go through these. You can see here in the picture there's 3 blend door actuators. There's a top one which I'm pointing to right now. The top one up there, that activates the door that pushes the air from your feet to your face and to the windscreen. So that one is the direction. So if you've got an issue with the air not coming out the right place, then this is probably the actuator that is of concern and not doing its job. The next actuator is directly underneath that. It's it actuates those arms, that top one. So this one here I'm pointing to now, it's a bit difficult to see. It is there. There's a better shot of it later on. This is the one that was faulty in my circumstance. This one actually toggles the hot or cold air on and off. So my condition was the driver had freezing cold air all the time, and the rest of the car had warm air. So problems on the driver's side. Equally, you could have the same issue on the passenger side. So the same three modules do the same three things, just for the passenger side in the Caprice. So the center module here, which you can hardly see because it's black, and its little actuating arm is also black, is my issue. And then the last one is the temperature control for the climate control. So as you range your temperature between 18 degrees and 30 degrees, this maintains the temperature in the vehicle. So if you've set it to 23 degrees, then this little arm can move up and down, and it can regulate the temperature of the air in the car, so it can cool the air or heat the air. So this is the heater piping that comes from the engine bay. So that's your hot air in, and you can see the hot air coil, the side of the hot air coil, and inside the black box at the back where I'm pointing here, that is the cold air conditioning coil. You can't see it because it comes in from the passenger side of the vehicle. So if you were to remove the passenger's glove box, you'll see the air conditioning piping comes in through behind the glove box, which is also where the fan is located if you have an issue with fan. So the next step is you can run through a test cycle. So if you turn your car on, and this is basically the rear demister button just has to be held down for 3 seconds, and the next video shows me put the ignition into turn it two positions so the car's not on, but the accessories are all on. You have to wait until all the noises cease, so wait until the system settles down. It takes about 10 seconds for it to do its thing. Then you can depress the rear demister button for 3 seconds, and you can pop your head underneath, and you'll see all of the arms go through a test cycle. So all three should start moving in different timing. I think the passenger side goes first and then the driver's side, but in this circumstance you can basically press that module over and over again for 3 seconds, and you can essentially, if one of these modules is not moving, that will be where your problem is. But as described earlier, you'll get a sense for which one it is based on the description of which actuator does what thing and where to look anyway. So hopefully that will help you to diagnose where the issue is. After you've run a test cycle, what you can do, and I'll put this up close, you can in the next slide, you can actually, by rotating either the driver's side, which is the picture bottom right, or the passenger side, which is the picture bottom left, you can toggle the actuator for the temperature control, the climate control. So once again, if you move the temperature on the driver's side, this will move the actuator arm. If you've got a problem with the passenger side, then it will be the one on the other side. So you'll just be on the other side of the car, obviously, in the footwell. So that's how you can test the temperature blending. This one's a bit harder to film, but if you use the up and down foot to foot to face to windscreen, then you'll see the very top actuator move, and the arm will move from that from position to position. So you can test that once again, and in this video here you can actually see, I'll just pause it when it comes in focus. I'll stop that one and move that out of the way. You can see the actuator that I had a problem with now is better in picture right here. Now it's in frame, it's on the right hand side, and the reason you can't see it because the little star shaped actuator arm is black and not white, so that's hence why it was a bit difficult to capture before. So as an extra testing cycle, you can run it through the test. Once you've unplugged it, plug it into a different lead, see if you can get it to work. This is the replacement module, so this is my replacement module. As you can see, it's got a white arm now, not a black arm, so this is it working and functioning properly. It simply rotates backwards and forwards, nice and easy. So as a test function, you can easily unplug your module, plug it into a different wire harness, and you can discount the wiring as being an issue as a fault finding exercise. And if the module is simply not running, then that's clearly where your issue is. So tools required to remove these things, and a warning, not a pleasant job. You really will need some very, very short Phillips head screwdriver bits. So I went with a socket wrench with a 1/4 inch drive, with a little number 2 Phillips head. Luckily, once they are cracked, there's such a coarse thread on the screw that it does come undone in about 3 rotations. So thank God for that, because the very top module is not very pleasant to get at, not very pleasant at all. Now there is when I purchased mine, there was only one module available in Australia. They do come in 2 different modes, so there's an innie or an outie. It depends on which way the shaft is, but if you do get one, they are both the same. There's no difference, but you do have to pop them open. So I've just stuck this in here. If you buy one and you find that it's happens to be the same as mine, you will have to pull the cover off and rotate the main drive cog. Just flip it over and put it back together. It's literally as easy as you can see, rotating around it. Just be careful and pop him off with a screwdriver, one clip at a time. It comes apart quite easy. It's no real big deal. I think I've got a better slide here. Here it's apart, and you just literally pull the cog out. There's no springs in it. It's not spring loaded, so nothing goes flying all over the place. Just rotate that around, drop it back in, and then pop your cover back on. It's all pretty simple. Just line the pins up with the cogs. Just pull it apart. When you do pull it apart nice and carefully, so you don't let the cogs go flying all over the place. There's only 3 of them in there, so it shouldn't be too hard. Bit of a pop back together and you're done in no time. So that's pretty much the part. It's as easy as plugging it back in and testing it. And then here we are with the final test, and now that the center one is white, you can see running through the same test sequence, rear demister button pressed for 3 seconds. You can see all 3 actuators all operating at the same time and all doing their thing, running through the paces, and there's no concerns. All working well, so hopefully that solves your issue. Hopefully that's as easy for you to fix as it was for me. Probably the worst part of this job, it's only an hour-long job, but the worst part is undoing those 2 screws. You can see in the frame, the little Phillips head screws have got a dot of yellow paint on them for each of them. There's only 2 screws and one locating pin. Well, that's pretty much it. Hope it solves your issue. If you did want to attempt, think in this previous video, if you did want to attempt to repair the one you have, this is a $70 item, so it's not expensive by any means, but if you did want to attempt to repair this You could try cleaning the motor, and once the motor is apart, you might even be able to buy a little replacement motor for this from J-Car, the model of which is in a second when I get this motor finally out carefully so you don't break the solder. You'd have to be good with soldering, just replace the soldered on pins. The motor model there, if you want to go looking for it, happy days. It's probably only worth $3-5, but I couldn't be bothered. I just bought the $70 part. What I did find is on mine was this is the little light sensor on the end of the rotation, the shaft. That is how the circuit board, which is on the other part, it counts the amount of rotations and it can tell its position in the world. So down inside this groove, so you can attempt to clean this if you want. Mine was full of debris and dust. So the little motor goes in there like that, and it basically counts. That's how it counts the rotation. So that could be your issue. You can pop that cover off on the back side. That's where the circuit board is. You can try cleaning it with isopropyl alcohol. Otherwise, if that doesn't fix it, I guess you're up for a $70 part, just like I was. So anyway, that is it. Hopefully that solves your issues. Otherwise, you might need to get it put into GM to any other air conditioning issues. That's it. Thanks very much. We'll catch you on the next one.